Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, we are here today to talk Virtua Fighter and the ever-increasing possibility, seemingly kind of a lock-in now, of Virtua Fighter 6. So, Dengeki Online held an interview with one Moriji Aoki, who is one of the head producers over at Sega, and specifically was in charge of the reboot / remake of Virtua Fighter 5, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, otherwise known as Virtua Fighter eSports in Japan. And talked a lot about just how that project came to be, you know, the fallout from it, mostly positive actually turns out, and basically not too subtly hinting at the fact that yes, Virtua Fighter 6 will be a thing. So if you want to read that specific interview, I'll have a link to it in the video description. It is in Japanese though, fair warning. I'll also link a Twitter thread that has a pretty decent translation of everything. Now, there's a couple smaller things in this interview that's very interesting to talk about, but let's talk the big thing first. So this is in regards to Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown's launch. In the interview, Mr. Aoki is asked about a great many things about Virtua Fighter, and basically, you know, why did Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown become a thing to begin with? And specifically, he puts it as, Virtua Fighter as a franchise has been dormant. And fair enough, before Ultimate Showdown, there's not been anything Virtua Fighter in a very, very long time, unless you go to the arcades and the Yakuza games. And specifically, since the franchise has been in dormancy for quite some time, a lot of people have sort of forgotten what VF is, and more to the point, a lot of people, more modern, you know, newer members of the FGC and gamers in general, don't even know what Virtua Fighter is anymore, period. So Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, the whole premise is twofold. One, it's part of the Sega 60th anniversary project, so, you know, that's a big deal, right? Big anniversary. And the other kind of real master stroke here is the point of Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown is to get people to remember Virtua Fighter. Specifically before they got the PlayStation Plus deal, where it was out on PS Plus for 2 months, which is much longer than normal because normally it's the 1 month, they were looking to give it away for a couple bucks. Just to get it out there, just to get it in as many people's hands as possible, get people to remember the Virtua Fighter brand. And with the PS Plus deal, free is a pretty good price for most people, I think you would agree. And the fact that it went out to, you know, potentially millions and millions of PSN users, that definitely got people remembering what Virtua Fighter is. So hey, mission accomplished on that. According to Mr. Aoki, nothing about the project from the start was designed to make money. It was specifically just to get people to remember Virtua Fighter on a grander scale. Which, as far as the gaming industry goes, is about as noble as a goal as you can get. Like, someone put out a video game and it wasn't about making money? What a thought. Definitely wouldn't see that from like Ubisoft or Electronic Arts. Mr. Aoki states that sales were not considered at all while making the game, so he considered that a very unique experience while developing the game. He goes on to state that Sony specifically, when they had the PlayStation Plus deal in place, they have their own like analytics department figuring out a lot of the numbers. And when Sony gave them their forecast of how many people they think would download Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, the Sega team was basically like, nah, you guys are crazy. And turns out the Sony numbers were pretty much about dead on, and the Sega people could not be happier to be wrong about that. Effectively, when it comes to things Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown related, they had many, many more downloads than they expected, and also the player retention is very good worldwide, so months after the product has launched. So now, let's talk Virtua Fighter 6. So Mr. Aoki states directly in the interview, basically the purpose of this work was to measure interest in the franchise. That is the whole reason they did all this. The results they have gotten is more people than they expected have reacted to this game, and they are interested in the brand, in the franchise, and now they are up to task to reacting to that demand. Basically, this is a much happier version of the Darkstalkers Resurrection story, where Capcom put out Darkstalkers Resurrection to see what the general interest in Darkstalkers would be if they should make a new Darkstalkers game, and the game basically completely tanked and sold very poorly, which killed any and all future Darkstalker thoughts and projects. So that bombed, but Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, apparently by every metric they have, is a success beyond what they were anticipating, so now the wheels get to move forward on a new Virtua Fighter project. So now moving forward in the interview and speaking exactly on that, is there going to be a new Virtua Fighter, a Virtua Fighter 6? With this, Mr. Aoki states there is demand. We know there is demand. A new game can take a few years. Game development, not the easiest thing in the world. And you have to anticipate and develop along the lines of what people want, various trends, because you want a game that can stand the test of time, right? A game that has a good lifespan. And to make something that is for everyone, not just Japan. And to editorialize, thank you very much for saying that. Because, the world at large, we're all here to play fighting games too. We don't need just the Japan-only mindset anymore. That's been holding us back for quite a few years. They have been made well aware when the launch of Ultimate Showdown happened that everyone in the world wants rollback netcode, and not to put too fine a point on it, was demanded basically, right? And they know this going into any new ventures. But basically, Mr. Aoki is stating everything but officially announcing a title, that yes, they're doing everything they can to work towards a new project, work towards a new Virtua Fighter, just it'll take a little bit because we got to actually make the game. You would have to think they're probably working on it right now, but it's in the way early stages, nothing to really talk about, and we might have an announcement maybe at the end of 2022 or 2023, and maybe a launch in 2024. I know that's very long, that's very far away, but that's the reality of game development, especially in the pandemic era where everything takes a lot longer. And basically there we have it. So Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown / Virtua Fighter 5 eSports, bigger success than they anticipated. That's great. And basically the wheels are starting to turn on a VF6. Might not be anytime soon just yet, but it is now basically an inevitability versus just, a far off hope. And as a lifelong Virtua Fighter fan, can't wait. I'm over the moon. I'm so happy that things worked out well, that they can consider this possibility. Like, if you go back all the way, so many years back when this channel was new, you'll find me ending a lot of videos shilling for Virtua Fighter, of all things. That flame's been burning for a long time, so I'm happy that this can start moving along and VF6 will eventually happen. That said, there's some more stuff in the interview. I'll rapid fire a few things here, and once again, if you want to see the full interview, check the video description. One of the things they were looking for Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown was maybe rebalancing the game. Although thanks to the pandemic eating up a lot of time they had, because it had to launch for the 60th anniversary, and the fact that they had a shorter window than usual to develop, that was unfortunately scrapped. The developers themselves, they are watching community stuff, they are watching YouTube channels, so even if they're not directly conversing, their eyes are open. The Yakuza DLC that just launched not too long ago is doing pretty well, it's doing well within their expectations. They state that a PC port of Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown is very possible. The only hitch is, while they might be able to do a PC port, crossplay probably won't be in the cards. As basically saying a lot of technical issues with the engine, it's basically not very crossplay friendly, basically. They'd have to redo a lot of stuff. Easier to do with an all-new game, now that you know, sure, but retrofitting it into this game, not so much. That and a lot of other fun stuff, like talking about the honor of kicking someone after you win the round, when the round's over and they're knocked out. Like, is it honorable to kick them while they're down? There's a lot of fun stuff. So check the video description. It's all there. And all in all, while it might be years down the road at this point, looks like there is more VF coming. So that's truly great. Can't wait. That all said, my friends, we're now at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Virtua Fighter.